Welcome back to another edition of the Be Forever Cool podcast. Might as well say global podcast because a lot of people are liking what we're doing. My name is Rex45. We got a lot to cover tonight. We got Motor America, we got World Superbike, we got MotoGP. There's some championships crowned. There's some backstories. We're gonna have a lot of fun. But let's bring the fellas in one at a time and see how things are going. What's going on, TJ? Man, welcome to the show. You got to take in
Oh shit.
Jersey, Jersey
Yeah.
as a fan. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It was a long drive, but it was a fun experience. I love going, every time. This is my second time going to Jersey, but it was a great atmosphere. As always, the weather was perfect. I did some test riding there on a couple bikes that they had at demos and walked around and see some of the racers and watched all the races. So
All right, that's
took
what's
it
up.
all took it all in.
All right, well, listen, man. Well, there's a lot to cover because a lot happened.
Oh
Reese,
yeah.
man, welcome back to the show, man. What's good?
I was good, man. Glad to be back and long weekend, crazy weekend. So
Yeah,
you know,
I'm looking forward to hearing about it. It's from my standpoint, it looks like a successful season overall. But if you don't get to taste the champagne at the end, you can't really spell success. So how things?
no, I mean we'll get into that. Overall, still a good year. You know, still good. We got some positive info, some positive data coming back. So we're ready and just gearing up here for World Superbike. So
That's what's up. Oh, I can't wait to hear about that. We're gonna bring everyone in. Let me Let's try that. There we go. Technology. It looks like Lewis. We took too long for Lewis. We wait for him to connect back, but we'll jump into it. We'll start with TJ. Man, come on, give us the play-by-play of the weekend. First of all, you got free tickets, so that was cool. I'll let you start from there. Like I said before the show start, this is anything you want to talk about. It kind of show.
Man, so I was just there, just seeing everything it had to offer. Obviously, I was just waiting for the Superbike race, and wanted to see, the three races that was going to happen during the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Man, like, what can I say? They put it down like Bobby, the three top runners, Bobby, um, Cam Bobier, and Josh Herring. So they really actually put in a fight this whole weekend, all three of them battling throughout all three races. So it was
Right.
really good to see watching at different turns and just their preparation, stuff like that. So
And
it was
and
really nice.
and like, what was the atmosphere like? Just getting around the paddock and stuff, getting access to people. What was that like?
I mean, it was busy. I mean, everyone's moving each direction, like on scooters, on bicycles, whatever you want to call it, that has two wheels. People walking, cars driving, people wheeling tires. It was just a busy moment. Demo rides coming in and out. So, I mean, if he wasn't on one of the stands watching the races, you pretty much gonna miss everything. But there's a lot of entertainment, a lot of good food, music, a lot of good vendors, free stuff, and there's some good atmosphere. There's a lot of kids there as well, so some kid friendly stuff. So
All right, that's what's up. Reese, man, I'll let you tell it, man. So, it didn't go exactly how you guys wanted it to go. It's unfortunate. Is in a situation like that. I mean, does the rider feel it a little bit more than the team?
I mean we both feel it. The rider feels it. He really feels it. I mean he's down. So I mean, but we're still all high spirits, and at this time, definitely before I even forget, I definitely want to give a big congrats to Yamaha for taking the manufacturer title for 2025. A lot of people don't know that. A big shout out to Bobby. Bobby rode his behind off this year, and like I said, it was an overall successful year for Bobby. A lot of people had counted us out. They didn't think we would be there, but we were actually there, and we were actually one hand on the trophy. So that's right there shows that we're still here. We're still competitive, and definitely give a big shout out to Richard and my whole team, the attack team. So what happened? What people don't see, and I mean, people that were there to kind of see that was standing around the pit, but to actually get Bobby's bike back up and running after race two to pretty much give him a whole brand new bike. I mean, within that amount of time, and that was short of amazing. That team is top notch, and I can't. I love them guys, and I wouldn't ask for a better team or a different team without them. So definitely give a big thanks and a big, salute to those guys. But overall, I think Bobby feels it. We all feel it. I felt it coming home today. In the airport. So, but like I said, we're all have high hopes, and we're getting ready for a World Superbike. You're here for Portimao for Estoril.
Yeah, we'll
Man,
talk about that a little bit because I mean it's the hardest thing I think after losing a championship is that like directly after when you just think about it, but as time passes and like you mentioned, you think about the whole season. It was a success story overall. The results doesn't dictate, the work put in and that you guys have done for the whole season and stuff like that. And to, for a guy to be on a bike for a first year to do something, that impressive, it's the likes of what, Mark did last year going to Grassini, and being able to, do what he did. So, no,
yeah.
definitely.
Uh,
So, um, do you got
See,
now you're going to Portimao, so let's talk a little bit
Hold
about
on.
that. Is Go ahead.
Well, I was just continuing the conversation. I was going to talk about Bobby, but I'll wait.
No, well, go ahead because we're going to talk about Portimao and see if is it the whole crew that's going, which is it,
Yeah,
Bobby and
yeah.
the crew chief.
Well,
I mean, the whole crew's going. I mean, of course, only certain members of the crew are going to work because we don't need all the crew to work for just one rider.
Right.
But I mean, we'll all be there in support and have a good time as a whole family.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Go ahead, TJ.
well, yeah. No, I was going to chime in on the Tech Yamaha. So definitely want to give congrats to the Yamaha team because they definitely still a stepping stone. They put in the work, and like you said, they got the title. It was good meeting Reese there as well in person and Lewis, and just seeing the environment. They're very professional, very respectful. But I just know that just what Bobby did this year is just amazing, and he's so humble. And I just know just back in his head is just like he has a lot on the table and he can't fuck up. And it was just probably just so much stress on him and just to try to hold the points because like he did win race one, he got that out the way. But race two, like I was sitting, I don't remember the turn number, but the little chicane, I think it's like turn 6 or 7. Um, there was a point where Josh Hammond would always like kind of let off the gas a little bit to like gain momentum or really push and Bobby's tire rubbed his at one point, and then later down the race, it's the same corners where Bobby crashed out.
Right, right. Yeah, I
And
think I think Heron uses a lower gear than the Yamaha
yeah,
in that turn is what I heard. But
yeah, and then that's when Bobby made his little gestures and stuff like that, and then it was wide open from there. So that race three was pretty big, and it was just unfortunate just to see Bobby, lose it after having the lead.
yeah,
I think it was back and forth between the three, but just still want to say congrats to the Yamaha team because that was a hard fight and it's just disappointing. I know it's a sour taste going home, but definitely was
yeah.
rooting for Bobby.
And I agree with that. Congrats for real, because you guys did win, even though you didn't get the final piece. Because it's been an amazing year, and I know none of you guys are going to lose sight of that because you guys have been there before. So and you'll be there again. So and I
We
think
appreciate it.
I think Bobby's going to learn a lot from this and be even stronger next year. So I'm looking forward to next season for sure. Lewis, man, you've been in and out. Here's your chance to talk about Motor America and your thoughts of the overall weekend.
Uh-oh.
The likes, the dislike. All the fan
Oh
action that you're
God.
getting. We might change your last name now.
No, no, no. Yeah. Let me start by saying thanks to everybody that came up and said hi, that kind of knew us from the pod. I was surprised, man. I was surprised by how many people just randomly would shout out like, "Hey, are you Luis Ortega?" or "Hey, are you the numbers guy?" And it kind of caught me off guard because it's the first time that I had somebody, people notice me and from the pod, and all the feedback was great. All the feedback was super positive. They like what we talk about. They like when we expand, and they like when we talk about racing, but they like when we expand a little bit and talk about other things outside of racing, but motorcycle related. So it was good. It was just good to get feedback firsthand. I mean, I get a lot of emails and I get a lot of messages on Instagram. But when you see the fans in person and you get to talk to them, and they know that, hey, you know what, they do know what they're talking about. Like, we're all invested in what we're saying. We're all invested in the sport. We enjoy it. We like it. The good, the bad, the ugly. We're there for it. So I want to say thank you to that. As far as the weekend, uh, a great weekend as far as the turnout, the event itself. Reese can tell you there were more people there on Saturday than I've ever seen there on Saturday. I think there were more people there on Sunday than I've ever seen on a Sunday. I mean, they were parking cars almost all the way to the lightning track, which is, for those of you that know the track layout, that's the other side of the track. So people were walking from lightning to thunderbolt, or if you have to walk that, I mean, Reese, what do you think, man? That's like a mile and a half walk from
Yeah,
one track
that's
to
a
the
good
other.
walk. That's a
That's
good walk, man.
Yeah.
you getting your steps in that day.
Boom.
So for the event, for everything, it was great. As far as the happenings within the weekend, I was super happy for the results on Friday. I wasn't surprised. The only thing that surprised me was, Heron obviously didn't have pace, and it showed. He showed some pace in the very first practice, but after that, when everybody's lap times really started to drop, there's a reason why Heron started in seventh place. It wasn't set up, and it wasn't anything else. Like, he didn't have pace. He had great launches, and he's got a bike that has a lot of grunt, and everybody knows that. And he knows how to take advantages of the weaknesses and the strengths of that bike. So he was able to get past, the guys in sixth, fifth, and fourth, and quickly get himself into the top 3 or 4 in every race. But towards the end of uh, every race, you saw that his pace was dropping. And this is why he had the tactic he had. And, some people might not like it. Some people might like it. Some people say it's racecraft. He's a crafty racer and this and that. He intentionally was slowing the traffic down for multiple reasons. One, because he knew at the end of the race he didn't have the pace to go with somebody if they got in front of him and really started to put some time down. We saw that in race one. Bobby was able to get out to a 4-second lead. 2 of those seconds were a fucking track marker in the back that doesn't know how to read a blue flag, which should get black flagged and not allowed on a Moto America track ever again, because this is a championship racing weekend. And you got some guy that's lapping around 8.5, 9 seconds slower than the guys at the front, and he doesn't know how a blue flag works. Bro, that's a black flag. Get off my track. Never come here again. Disqualification. In the second race, Josh did what Josh needed to do. Again, like it or dislike it, he jumped in front and he tried to intentionally slow the pace down because he understands his only opportunity to win is if Bobby and Cameron have an incident. He was too far out of the points at that side. So the only thing he could do is try to slow the pace down and hope that either those guys start battling with each other or somebody else that has nothing to do with it starts battling with them. They start to try to do something risky to get around them and possibly crash to give him, again, that glimmer of hope that he might still be able to win. Hate it or love it, it's a race tactic. It is what it is. And, several of the people had said that, he takes a different line. He tends to slow mid corner because he uses a different gear because he's trying to use the grunt to get out of the corners. But, if you're intentionally slowing the pace, you're also putting people at risk. Because if five other guys are coming through the same corner at a specific pace and they're expecting you to be on the gas as a professional at the apex, and you're still neutral throttle or lower than neutral throttle at the apex and after the apex, because you're trying to fuck up everybody else's corner speed because you don't have corner speed. Again, it's a tactic, but it's a shitty tactic.
So we should
And he
we
can,
should kick we should kick a Noni out of World Superbike.
well, I mean, again, this is a tactic. I'm not saying that it's illegal or anything else. It's a shitty tactic, but it's a tactic. And it's the only tactic that he had because, again, he needed both Cameron and Bobby to crash for him to have any chance to retain his title because he was out of it. You know, he was well out of it. And unfortunately, Bobby raced the way Bobby races all year. Bobby goes out there and he's I hate to say it, man. He really is a win it or bin it guy. Like I can't slow down. I can't just settle for second or third, even when he should settle for second or third, because that's not the way he is. You know, anybody that knows Bobby, like I got to do my pace. I got to do my corners. I got to do my apexes the way that I do them. This is what got him here. This type of riding got him to this point, this time of the year, and this ain't the time to try to change that the way he rides, man. And everybody online, by the way, all the previous Superbike champions online, the thousands, I didn't realize there were so many goddamn Superbike champions in the US. Fuck. The thousands of Superbike champions that are going online and giving Bobby advice on how to ride.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bobby's going to listen to it because, I mean, with all the titles you fuckers have and all the super bikes that you guys have ridden at the top level, I mean, shit. I mean, Bobby only owns the track record at two or three tracks. I guess these other thousand guys own the track records everywhere else. Because it's like, holy shit, man. And, you know, again, bro, social media is toxic. We know that. We know how people get manipulated very easily.
Right.
You know, people are putting up, oh, here's Josh's track data. It'll easily show you what he was doing. Man, 90% of these guys can't even read a menu at fucking Cheesecake Factory. You think they know what track data looks like? I could put a EKG up there and be like, this is track data. They have no clue.
So is I mean I think that type of criticism that because I see it as well and I you want to expand on that a little bit because as a writer it's hard not to see that stuff on your feed and all those comments and stuff like that and you're absolutely right on just the facts being the numbers guy, right? But there's still people that want to come out and give advice and say all these things and I guess I'll push this to Reese. I mean, how do your other writers have coped with that in the past? And I mean, you guys only been with Bobby for 1 year, and this is still all brand new. Um, you know, how do you guys? You just become a tighter family. How do you guys deal with that?
I mean, honestly, we just kind of ignore it. You kind of brush it to the side. I mean, because everyone's going to have their opinions, everyone's going to have their says. I mean, I've had people hit me and say, "Oh, BMW's won this, top this, that." I'm like, where? I've had people tell me certain about factory teams over in World Superbike. I've had people tell me, I've seen people say Bobby choked or this and that. I'm like, really? Like, unless you want to speak on it and you want to talk about it, and it's like there's no point because, as my mom always told me when growing up, ignorance is bliss, and it's like people they're going to say what they want to say, and it's no disrespect to them. That's just what they want to say. But it's like Lewis just said, the social media nowadays is all toxic. It's just like unfortunately, I go back as to when I first started riding, it's like the Suzuki, sorry, Louis, but
Yeah.
it's that one person said the Suzuki's best, and guess what? It just followed down the line, and Suzuki's the greatest thing walking on God's given earth, and now everybody's like, oh, Suzuki this, Suzuki that, and I'm like, okay, cool, but they're missing now. It's a Ducati thing, and it's one person will make like a trend, and it goes from there to just a snowball effect. And people will sit there and say, "Oh, there weren't that many fans at Moto America or Moto America's fallen." I'm like Lewis said, there was. We looked. I talked to one of the Moto America reps, and the Jersey refs, and it was record breaking numbers for New Jersey's round. They had more fans in Jersey than they've ever had on their weekend.
It's all because
It
of Be
was.
Forever Cool.
it, it's because they knew we were coming, bro. They heard on the pod we were gonna be there. And they're like, "Yo, let's buy some tickets."
So I
But
mean, it's that.
all joking aside, this is what we want. As people who want to be part of the racing community, the business side of things. That's what we want. As a fan side, that's what we want as well. To hear that, Jersey had record breaking numbers, and hopefully that carries over into Daytona in the next March and so forth into next year. That's kind of what we want. I mean, obviously we get more people talking with the AI edited, data and stuff like that. But with more reach, I think we're gonna get that negativity, right?
Oh, of course, you're gonna always get the negativity. Even like Lewis said, I mean, people can't read data. I mean, hell, be honest, I've been there now 11 years, and I'm looking at the data like this shit look like spaghetti. You know, it look like squiggly lines, and I'm trying to get them to like, all right, so that's the tire temp. Okay, so I'm like, I gotta like be taught, and I'm like, this is crazy. So for someone to sit
Yeah.
there and say, "Oh yeah, I can see it," I'm like, "Nah, you can't."
No,
And
no
again,
doubt.
anybody can take a screen. The problem with the internet is even 90% of the facts are fake. I could take a screenshot from data from another guy and put it on there and be like, here's this data. Like there's no way to equate it. The only people that know what was going on that track were the guys on the track. And the feedback from the guys on the track was that was the feedback, that they felt that the pace was being slowed intentionally. And you can see on the video in race one, halfway through the race, there was one bike that was sliding like more than any other bike. And it was sliding at the same 3 or 4 or 5 points. And that was a Ducati. And in the second
Yep.
race, they slowed the pace down significantly to try to save tire because they couldn't seem to manage the tire. And then in the last race, what happened when Bobby and Cameron got away in front? A certain Ducati started dropping like a fucking stone because they didn't have the pace. So much so they got passed by Suzuki. Yeah, baby, Suzuki, number one, baby, coming back.
Right. Right.
Listen, I could say this. This is what I can say, and I'll it will contest to what Lewis just said. When the certain person got out front, the pace was at the low and it was at the mid 20s. It was a 20.3, a 20.5. That was the pace. When the other got out front, we were at the pace was at a 21.7 to a 22.3.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah. So now you move it. You guys are going over
And
go ahead, Lewis.
no, and just one last thing. And then, Jersey for anybody who's written it, it's a very hard track to pass. There's only a couple of clean passing places. And if you can get the grunt of your bike to block somebody into turn one, it becomes a single lane track until you get to turn five. And you could do the kamikaze on the inside and try to make the turn five. Then there's no other passing realistically, unless there's a mistake until turn one again. So, you can block people at turn five and outmotor people to turn one and then park it in turn one. You're not going to really get past it until five. So you kill somebody's drive coming out of turn three. They can't really get a drive to pass you at turn five. And then you got the grunt again at turn one. So now it becomes this kind of like slinky effect where every time you think you got room, the room is gone. And every time it starts to stretch, it collapses again. And this is why you saw in the third race and in the first race, when other riders got in front of that rider, they were able to set their pace, and that rider couldn't. We saw it in race one, and we saw the same exact thing in race three. His tactic is tactic. I understand why it is, and to be honest with you, in my position, in the same position, I'd be doing the same shit because I'm trying to win at all costs. Short of causing somebody to crash, I'm trying to win at all costs. So, like it or hate it, it is a tactic and you got to accept it. Um, but, at least now we know that Jersey got to benefit and Moto America got to benefit from one, the baggers were there, and two, the most important three races of the season happened in the last 2 days of the season. And I think that's why so many people showed up to Jersey. Is there was stakes. There was a reason to go there. It wasn't
Right.
raining for once, thank God. So all these factors put together, this is why we had a great turnout. We had a great event, and even though it didn't turn out the way everybody maybe had hoped for, at the end of the day, we still got a great champion because Cameron Beaubier, his story is important too, man. Cameron Beaubier has had a rough time over the last five,
Right.
6 years, man. He went to Moto 2 and he struggled. He stayed there probably way longer than he should have, thinking that the team would be able to come around and give him a bike that he can compete with. And then he comes back and he gets on the BMW and the bike is not there. Everybody thinks, oh, the BMW is great. There's one guy that's consistently fast on a BMW and he's an alien, dude. How many
I
other people have raced the BMW and struggled? Scott Redding couldn't make it work. All these other guys couldn't make it work. There's one dude that's been able to win on the BMW
besides Top Rock.
besides Top Rack. Yeah. And now Cameron, even he'll tell you the bike's not very easy to ride, but he finds a way to ride it. And I'm super happy for that guy, man. He's had concussions, he's had injuries. Like he almost concussed himself out of the sport. So
Right.
as much as I
Cracked
rooted
heels.
rooted for Bobby, yeah, crack dude. This guy's been through it. So as much as I rooted for Bobby, once we saw that Bobby wasn't going to get it, and I saw who was in second place, I was like, you know what, man? If it's destined for him to get this title, then let him get this title because this guy's been through the ringer, man, and he's a super deserving guy.
Yeah, I
So
agree. So and next year we're going to have two BMWs in World Super. I mean, Moto
I
America.
I think it's going to be three.
Oh wow,
Here
three.
it's going to be
Okay.
three BMWs, maybe four, depends, because Tyler's Racing is a weird anomaly of a company. Every year they're going out of business.
Right.
Like
Yeah, well,
every year,
yeah,
every seriously,
every year a new
Reese,
company starts.
every year the main sponsor behind Tyler's Racing has to decide whether or not they're going to go racing again next year.
Right.
Like Cameron Beaubier next year might not even be on a BMW because that team might not be there. If the team finds funding,
I think we might have lost Lewis
but
there.
Orange Cat is definitely going to go racing. Minimum, they're going to have two BMWs, but they might even bring a third BMW because they're trying to get a really, really strong team together. From what I talked to them a little bit this weekend, I mean, they're planning on having four riders. I don't know where these
Right.
four riders are going, dude,
Yeah.
but they're planning on having four riders.
Right. Right.
We're going to have another R1.
Matt,
Maybe we'll
Matt
have
Soch.
something else. Yeah.
I was about to say
Yeah.
Schultz announcement, right?
Yep.
Jack, they're going racing superbikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's another one that won the championship. I mean, I don't remember what the points were with Matthew and PJ, but I mean, getting a flat tire in race one seems like that he put him out of the points. I mean, that's also another strange way to
Done.
lose the championship. What are your
Brand
thoughts
new
on that?
Dunlop, straight from Japan, baby.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that,
Old
TJ?
tires, huh?
You were there to see it, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, that race was happened to be a red flag, so it was kind of interesting. I don't know if there's someone else crashed or caused it, or if it's because PJ had a flat tire. But it was just a strange situation. But yeah, it's weird that he was just the only one to get a flat.
No,
But
no, there was
there,
there was a blowout in practice.
oh, I
It was
must have
two
missed that
blowouts.
one. Yeah.
Two
Yeah,
blowouts.
there was
For who? Like
super sport.
yeah, what's going on over there?
So
But
they were using the new Japanese made Dunlop tires,
Oh, that's
oh
not a good
man,
and
look.
they had to pull some. And Reese, you could probably talk about this a little more than me, but from what I understand, they looked at a specific lot number and had to pull all of them off the trailer to not give them to anybody else because those tires were failing.
Well, they
Oh,
said they were failing because they went to a lower pressure. That's what they said. They went to an 18 pounds or something like that, and that's what the issue were. So they didn't. They shortened the race to allow the tires to last.
How
That
many
was
shorted
the
tires?
issue.
Uh,
So is Blake Davis one of the forefront for the championship next year? Now that PJ is moving up, is Cam moving up as well, or is it just Schultz and PJ moving up to Superbike next year?
Just Schultz and PJ.
So what your
Uh,
thought? Go ahead.
but I don't know what Cam's doing, because there's some rumors that there's some might be some additional changes in the paddock. I don't like to speak out of turn, but there's a company that's not 100% sure if they're going to be able to be back in the paddock, or they're looking for new funding now. I think they'll be able to find it, but more than likely Cam P is going to end up in Super Sport, and it'll be pretty much Blake Davis, Cam P, Scott, and
Bobby.
Demario. Like, I'm going to give Demario
Wow.
a big boost, bro.
Okay.
That kid's the truth, and Ray Hall did a great job. He's an amazing pickup, man. You guys have no idea the talent, because most people only know him from the last couple of seasons here.
Mm-hmm.
But I have his resume from when he was racing in Italy, man. And if it wasn't for the fact that his father got a job here in the U.S., that kid would probably be in Moto 3 right now.
Wow. All right. That's going to be a cool lineup for next year for the front runner for sure. I'm pretty sure there might be a couple of others in there, but let's move over to MotoGP and then we'll bounce around to
uh,
World Superbike.
uh,
All right. Go ahead.
Sorry, Gracie. Sorry, just before we move over, I definitely want to congratulate our home New England on Nathan Betancourt for actually getting a podium on Sunday, a third place. So it was super exciting to see another person that I know or, be on the track with. So I want to congratulate the Betancourt family for getting on the podium and
Right.
allowing us to get the tickets as well. So it was
Right.
cool to see that.
No doubt. And Nathan and Mike, man, it's time to come on the show and tell the story. Let's make it happen. But that was dope to see Nathan get on the podium, because like
Yes.
I remember him as a little lad on a kick scooter kicking around the paddock, while Dad was racing, and Dad stopped racing so he can put time into getting Nathan to where he's at, and to see them, I believe 2 years in, and to get on a podium, that's huge. And the kid, like he said, he was just 12 earlier this year. So,
I mean,
So,
I'll give you one more little inside scoop from the day that I was at today. So today I was at the Aprilia track day and NJMP. They have the track day right after Moto America's event every year here.
yeah.
And a lot of the kids from the Twins Cup stayed to ride. And Alessandro Demario went out on an RSV4 stock bike with street Pirelli tires, running 128s, bro.
Wow. He's
Stock
gonna be.
bike, that just a demo bike.
Jay, don't
nice.
break this. Let's bring it back in one piece.
Well,
Yeah, we're pretty.
I give you another insight too to what Lewis said. I guess somebody was out there doing a track day with him, and he was I think he was on a super bike, and Mario
Yeah,
pulled away from him like he was standing still. So for
Wow.
all those guys out there talking, oh, the super bike and trying to give it genius, there's a kid out there ready to bust you behind on a
yeah,
stock
man.
400.
Okay, Blake Davis, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Blake Davis and Alessandro Demario are really the young forerunners for being that next generation of top racers when they get to that point, when they get that maturity and they get on big
Right.
bikes.
Yep.
They're gonna hurt a lot of feelings, man.
Yeah, it's a trend that's been coming. I mean, for me, just the last 10 years, seeing these young kids come up, and you see the progressions of the younger ones where they're at now in the sport and stuff like that. So, motorcycle racing in the U.S. is going in the right direction. So, it's definitely exciting, and hopefully more heads will be going to World Superbike, or even more in the MotoGP, Moto2 side of things as well. So that way, you got more U.S. riders filling up the international stage. Speaking of international stage, let's talk about Japan.
Yeah.
Motegi, one of my favorite tracks. Marquez did his thing. won the championship. I don't know what the big that is the biggest news. It is one of the biggest comebacks that we can talk about. The only thing come close is Grant Hill, because Grant was hurt for many years
Kim,
before he
Kim
was able to.
Kardashian had a comeback.
Come on, man. This is not that kind of show.
I mean, Cameron
in,
Bobby
in
had to
that
come back.
Listen. That's the
Say Tiger
problem.
Woods.
Kim always has a comeback. That's the problem. So,
in that one video, shit.
so we'll leave it there. But it's still one of the biggest comebacks out there for Marquez, because um, he had a lot of surgeries in 4 years, and maybe some other riders may have retired, and he took a gamble. We've been kind of talking all year that it was his to lose. Did he live up to the hype? Is it did he win by too much and made it kind of boring? What are your thoughts, TJ?
I mean, no, he actually made it really exciting because when he first got on Ducati last year, everyone was just ready for him to start winning, and he gave a little glimpse. But once he got that factory seat, we kind of already knew. We just had to prove it, but we didn't think it was going to be like this. I mean, I've been watching Mark for a little bit and really got into racing a few years ago, but like for what his comebacks, for his injuries, and to just smoke people the way he did so far, um, and get the championship, and like he can actually just focus on next year. Like he doesn't like have to do anything else. Like he got the title, and he still can probably add to. I don't know. He still can get points and add to this run he's on. So very impressive, and still excited to see uh, the races that we have left. There's still some cool tracks, and
Right.
Wategi is a cool track as well. So
Yeah, no doubt. Reese, what are your thoughts? Like Cam, Mark did something pretty special. How does that rank for you as far as you've been around the motorcycle racing for a while? We all said he was, and all of us. I was probably still on the fence in denial myself. But what are your thoughts on what Mark did, and getting his seventh GP title in this way? Because, like I said, this is something like Mike Tyson coming back and fighting, Ali coming back after going to jail and all that. There's a lot of riders that could have just said, "Hey, man, I got enough money. I can live off my Red Bull check," and he decided to go get his arm broken again, and he went to Minnesota to do it, of all places, and look where he's at now.
I mean, honestly, I said it. I said this last year, and I told a couple of friends of mine, I said, if this man gets on a red bike, it's pretty much going for second and third. You're not going for first. The way he showed his pace the first year being on the satellite bike, that just told me this. He gets on a factory bike with all the new equipment, the factory specs. Is you're pretty much going to race for second and third. But to see him come back after all the injuries, I mean, I was actually rooting for him. I've been a Rossi fan for a long time, but to actually root for him and to see him come back from those injuries and with actually thinking about calling it quits, I mean, it's something short of phenomenal. So it's actually congratulations to him, and it was something nice to see. I mean, from start to finish. I mean, what from maybe like the sixth round after winning, like this kind of one man show right now. You're pretty much just coming. We all come to say we're coming to the track to win, but at this point in time, with somebody like that, you're just coming to see if I can finish second.
Right. Lewis, what are your thoughts, man? There's a lot of Mark Marquez ads out there.
I mean, I have to tip my hat to the man. 125. I mean, I saw him race when he was in the CEV. It's an amazing story from beginning to end. Everything he has been, the competitor he's been since the day he arrived on the circuit in 125. The rider that he's evolved into, the talent that he's evolved into. I mean, we're all fans, so we're going to look at it from a fan's perspective. I would say the true measure of a champion is how your contemporaries look at you and how your contemporaries speak about you.
Hmm.
And it was really great. One, to see all the other riders when asked about the accomplishment, all of them said more or less the same thing in their own way. This is an incredible thing. If you think about where he was just 6 years ago, if you think about everything he's been through, you know, most other riders would have given up. Most other riders would have been retired.
Mhm.
Even in the documentary that they have for Mark Marquez going through his surgeries, even his own family were like, you got enough money, why you don't need to race. You have this, you have that. Like there's a video going now that directly from that documentary where Marquez sits down with his grandfather, who's no longer with us, and he's asking his grandfather, will you give me a blessing to do this? If I do this one surgery and they fix it, I can go race again. And his grandfather, I mean, it pretty much tells him, you have more than enough money. You don't need to do this anymore. If you ask me, I'll say no. But it doesn't matter what I fucking say because you're still gonna not do what you want to do. But if you ask me, I say no. And Marquez is like, no. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do this surgery and I'll give it one last shot. And everything he's went through, and again, all the contemporaries, man, all the other riders have all said the same thing. This is an incredible thing. This is an unbelievable comeback. There's never been something like this before in motorsports. Like, yeah, Rossi came back from a broken leg. A lot of people are coming back from broken legs. Doohan came back from a destroyed leg so bad that they sold his left leg to his right leg so that they could circulate fresh blood to try to heal the broken leg with the good leg.
Right.
So we've seen riders come back from some crazy things, but this here, break your arm, it gets set incorrectly. So you volunteer to get your arm broken again to try to get it set correctly. You leave a team that's paying you millions and not just a couple, tens of millions of dollars to go to a satellite team because you're looking for that competitive advantage to get back to the top. Like this dude has done everything possible to grab that trophy again, man. And now I think between now and the end of the year, I think he's gonna set a challenge for himself. I really think he's gonna try to reach that 600 point plateau. Put that point bar so high that it might never get reached, man. Maybe we'll never see somebody hit 600 points again, and it's out there. It's available to him. He could do it.
Well, well, well,
Um,
well, well. Listen, wait a minute now, Rondell.
He can do it
Um,
again.
we
He just
we
beat his
saw
own record.
we saw they
Mhm.
figured out Pecco's bike all of a sudden. So, I
Oh
mean,
no.
I don't know, but if it's a one off or but the rest of the season, I don't know
Hey,
if it's going to be that easy for Mark. What are your thoughts on
but
the fact that Pecco did what he did this weekend and everybody?
it, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, man. So I'm getting that out there. But anybody else gets out there,
it,
that sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
even a broken
Even
clock is
Joe.
right once a day.
So you think it's a one off, and it's still because for a guy to ride like that, is it all mental?
One, it is mental. Yes, I mean a lot of it's mental. If the bike is working properly, then yeah, because a lot of times the bike will work properly, and then it won't be. It'll just be the rider. So I mean, it could be a little bit of both. We don't know. I mean, nobody knows on that side. It's like I mean, going on that side of like damn near Fort Knox. They won't give up their secrets. Um, so I mean, we'll never know.
Right.
But you know, yeah, it's a one. It could be a one time. It may not know. I mean, we started. I watched the race, and I started seeing the bike start smoking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I know I did see the man back there, Mark, reeling his behind in. So a couple more laps, we might not have this conversation right now.
But Mark did struggle a little bit in some of them laps.
The great ones always struggle, but they
Mhm.
figure out they find a way to turn up.
All right, all right. TJ, one off.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I, I feel like it's a one-off because, like, I feel like Pecco by this point would have performed a lot better. I can't just see that this race. I mean, don't want to throw in another manufacturer, but Jawan Mir got a fourth in the sprint and got a podium in the GP. So like, that's a one-off too. So like, I don't know. There's just a situation. I really hope that Pecco can find his way though, and possibly finish top three at least, or top five for the rest of the year. So like,
Right.
actually say that he's back or figured something out actually and feel improvement. But I don't know. I just can't call it.
All
I feel
right.
like Mark is definitely going to try to set a record. Like, well, he's already set the record, get the 600 plateau mark, and he's probably going to try to beat his own record next year.
All right.
So it's going to be even
So,
tougher for Pecco.
yeah, it's gonna be. It'll be interesting to see. Numbers guy. There's Mark wins the title, gets on the podium, and there's a Honda on the podium as well. One, do you think if Mark was on a Honda this year, would he win the championship? Because if you say yes, that means he gave up a lot of dough to get this championship because the Honda is looking good. We haven't brought up Jorge Martin, with the broken collarbone. So I'm pretty sure you want to touch on that. Took out his own teammate who helped him get into Q2, like the last round. I mean, like, is there just one rider has to have bad juju in MotoGP? Like, what's going on, Lewis?
I mean, if Miguel Oliveira is in there, somebody got to pick up the slack. Somebody be like, yeah, I'm fucking somebody up this weekend. I mean, I don't even know. Like on the Jorge Martin thing, I don't even know what happened there. Like for me, if that's not a mechanical, if that's just rider error, that might be some of the dumbest shit that I've seen in 8, 9 years.
Yeah, from him, no
You,
doubt.
from him, from even in MotoGP, you always see some people crashing at turn one, but it's always like, kind of a low side, trying to get in the corner, making some contact, not the bowling ball, man. Like this dude had the 7-9 split.
Bastianini did that in 2023. Was it
Yeah, that's what I'm
Bastianini?
saying. I haven't seen it in a couple of years, but it's like at a certain, like, bro, you are at the top level, man. You're starting from a shitty spot because you don't have great pace. You ain't gonna make up 9 spots in the first corner. All you're gonna do is put yourself and your teammate. Now the entire factory team is out, man.
Yeah.
And as far as Honda, you guys, and I keep telling you, man, that home track half a second's a real thing. And even though Johan Mir is Spanish, that's a Honda track. Believe me, the guys that signed his check were like, yo, my man, we at the Honda track. We really like to see Honda on the podium here. And, we'll slowly start to sign your check if you get it on the podium. Like, so it's, these, you get that extra incentive when you're there. I mean, dude, you got your bosses there. Any of you could say it. When your boss walks in, you look busy at work, right? Like he's in front of his boss. He got to get busy.
Right. I assume they've done enough laps at that track that their data is pretty good to make that bike go faster too.
Yeah, they've got massive data. If Mark was on that bike, if Mark had stayed with Honda, I don't even think Mark would still be in racing. Because if you look at the amount of crash, no, seriously, look at the amount of crashes the Hondas have had this year between Mir, Marini, and Zarco. I don't even know who the other
From
guy
cat,
is because,
from cat.
yeah, dude, yeah, it is. I'm surprised he survived this long. Mark is going to crash just as much as those guys because he's only got one gear. So I'm still glad that Mark's not with that team because Mark's career would have got cut short and we would have missed out on this incredible run that he's having, this incredible comeback. So yeah, I'm Mark would probably not be at this race because he'd be retired with like 2 broken arms, broken collarbone, broken knees, like just from trying to survive the Honda.
That'll be the next documentary.
Yeah, dude, how to how to survive Honda, directed by the
Oh
same people that
God!
directed How to Survive R. Kelly.
Oh shit! I'm
um,
done.
and then as far as the Pecco thing, I don't think it's a one-off because during the entire season, Pecco's been in that top 3, 4, 5. It's not like he's, I bust his balls, that when I'm not here to race for fourth or fifth, even though he has been, but he's still in the top 5. So it's not
Or
like he's,
21st.
I mean, he's had a couple of struggles here and there, but keen eyes, very keen eyes, noticed some significant differences between his bike and Mark's bike at this track.
Yep, a little bit.
So they made some changes to the bike. I don't know if they took, the rumor is they took some last year's bike and applied them to this year's bike and made some other changes in hopes of helping Pecco get his confidence back, get his mojo back. Is that going to help through the rest of the season? I mean, maybe. Maybe at this point, Mark's like, dude, I'll just finish second for the rest of the year. I got all my fat checks. If I finish second or third for the rest of the year, I'm still gonna make, all my money. I'm still gonna break the record for the highest points total. I'm still gonna do all this other stuff. I'll let some other guys win.
All right. Okay.
I feel bad for the other guys. Let them get some checks.
I got my
Let,
brand new Lambo. I got this.
Yeah.
They gave me a
Yep.
Lambo.
all right.
Yep.
Let me throw out Alex Marquez to TJ and Reese, man, because he looked like he showed a little bit of nerves, which I you wouldn't think so. You think that would have maybe started sooner, but I expect a little bit better racing out of him. But you think like overall is that a team thing? Because also Aldeguer struggled as well. What are your thoughts, TJ, on how Alex did? And also, you think he'll keep his second place to the end of the season?
Um, yeah, I definitely think he'll keep his second place. But I think it was probably a team issue. I mean, Alligator's definitely been showing more pace as the season was progressing. Lately, he's kind of been struggling a little bit. But same with Alex. He's been struggling, trying to stay up front. A couple crashes here and there. But I think this time it was probably more of like a team effort for as far as setup. And, it's just, I think Alex has one gear as well. Um, Trying to keep up with Mark and his pace, trying to improve. But, I think going forward, we probably have a better end of the season to keep that second place.
Right, right. What are your thoughts, Reese? The team a little bit they still recovering from his injury. What are your thoughts on Alex?
I mean, it could be a little bit of both. It could be a rider. It could be a team. Lewis knows this from being around the industry so long. A lot of riders think that they're riders, they're champions, and they also think that they're engineers. Um, so it could be Alex telling them, I need this," and they're like, "You don't need this, you need this," and he's like, "No, I need this." So it could be a little bit of both. Um, where a rider thinks he knows, but he really don't know. Um, but it could be the injury that's plaguing him. Still, sometimes these guys want to come back sooner than what's expected. They want to come back and race and win. It could be a team that they just kind of lost their way. So it could be numerous of things. But honestly, looking at the point spread and looking at everything, I believe he still holds second place. Especially just keep the bike upright, so you're still gaining points. As long as he stays in the points battle, so you're still gaining points, you're still gaining data, and figuring it out. But eventually, I think they'll figure out their way back. The best thing I tell them, the best thing see them doing is pretty much going back to what they had. Because I'm pretty sure they got the data on what they did have, and just go back to that, start from that setup, and go from there.
All right, that's what's up. I mean, before we jump into World Superbike, do we want to? We really don't even talk about KTM as much. I mean, Yamaha Quattararo. I mean, this man. Listen, man, he's a foreigner, but if he was trying to get into America, he'll figure out a way. Like not the yeah, they're kind of struggling a little bit over there, KTM and Yamaha. And any thoughts, DJ? Anything you want to
Uh,
point out?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say just just the setup. I think they have been struggling lately. Um, Fabio is like the only one that's holding Yamaha down. So they've been struggling the whole year in my eyes. It's just he's been pulling out miracles, not miracles, but he's been putting in a lot of
No
work and
miracles.
effort.
No
And
miracles.
no miracles. It was just more of a metaphor towards. But like he's been making keeping them relevant basically, and they're still struggling. Even they did a little test. KTM. I mean, like after 2 rounds ago when they were doing really well, um, and then losing chains the next week after. So yeah, they're still trying to find their way. So I think they're in a good spot though, KTM over Yamaha, but I
Hmm.
think Yamaha still has a lot of work to do.
All right. Anything that you want to add, Reese? I mean, I we did say miracle, but like TJ alluded to more, it should be hope, right? Because Quattararo was saying, "Look, this is what I can do with what I have. So give me something that I can really be more consistent."
You know, great man once told me once you lose hope, you gain faith. But at this point in time, I ain't got no damn faith. Shit, that's gone. Fuck. Um,
Yeah.
um, I mean, what TJ said. I mean, it's kind of like being modest, but I mean, he's pulling out. That's Houdini, man, pulling out a miracle out of that to sometimes to keep that Yamaha up there.
Yeah.
Um, to me, so I mean, hopefully they figure this out and figure that V4 out that they got, because they said it was. I mean, of course, it's a new prototype, it's new, so they got to figure everything out and get it running. They still got bugs and scenarios to work out, So I hope they do figure that out. KTM, I don't know what the fuck going on over there. I think they just broke, you know. uh, something going on. Maybe they broke. The bikes are broke. I don't know, man. It's just like Jesus Christ, man. Give some faith in this. It's long gone, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully they can figure it out. I mean, at some points in time they look great, and sometimes they look spotty, and sometimes they're just like non-existent. I mean, they'll crash out. Bastianini's gone. This that. I mean, I just don't know what's going on over there. It's like either the setup is wrong, tires is wrong for them, suspension, it's just chassis. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, it's tough. And they got a whole bunch of new money. I mean, I don't. I think they may have just done enough to kind of say we're not going to be worried the first year. But there's smarter people than us that are invested in these guys. So it can't look too good for KTM if it can't be a little bit more consistent. Consistent. Lewis, anything you want to add before we move over to World Superbike and talk about what Top Rock and Bulaga is doing and your boy
No,
Sam Lowe's?
no. I mean, the guys pretty much said everything. The only thing that I have to add to that is I've said that some of the tracks that are coming up are not going to be KTM friendly, and some of the tracks are not going to be Yamaha friendly. I mean, the two bikes that seem to be the most dialed in are the Ducati and the Aprilia. I mean, you could kind of see that in the performances. You would have seen it better if Martin didn't take out the entire team, but Aprilia bike is the only bike that consistently can compete with the Ducati at this point. All the other bikes have flashes of brilliance, and I think still the Honda is, even though people shit on it, I think the Honda is a little bit further along than the Yamaha because the Honda's been on a V motor for a long time.
Hmm.
So they're just developing from a point where they're already at. By Yamaha coming out with a V, they're kind of throwing up the signal that, we understand that this is what we need to do. Um, but now they also have a lot of work to do because now they're going to have to fix this. Now they're going to have to address what it takes to have a V motor, what chassis changes they have to do, what this they have to do, what that they have to do.
Right.
So there's a long, steep learning curve, I think, coming up for Yamaha, whereas Honda's got that step up. And then, unfortunately, KTM, I, I don't know exactly what to blame it on. In a way, I kind of, if Vinales was healthy, and they were still having struggles, then I would say that it's the bike. But I think, again, Vinales was the canary in the coal mine for them. He was the one that was warning them what to do, what not to do. And when
Right.
he got hurt, they had a setup and it worked a little bit. And he's still recovering. And I think until he recovers, they're going to still be struggling to find that setup because realistically, Vinales is the best rider that KTM has right now.
Man, I never thought I'd be hearing those words at the end of the season.
Oh, wow, man. Trust me, man.
we we were saying off with their heads at the beginning of the season.
I know.
Yeah, but he's I knew Bastianini wasn't going to be doing all that much on the bike because he was on a factory Ducati, and yeah, he was hurt and everything else, but he should have really never gotten that factory seat to begin with, in my
Oh,
opinion.
oh, come on.
Going back, I
We'll
think
save
there
that for a
was there
different
was I yeah, we'll do another show on that whole episode.
show.
uh,
A
Why
whole episode.
factory seat or not?
But and then
Wow.
and Binder has been on KTM forever, and he's just a middling rider. He's never gonna be a champion, man. I hate to say it. I'll put it out there right now. You'll never see Binder's name at the top of that championship trophy ever,
Yeah,
especially if he stays with KTM.
yeah.
If he
I
stays
agree.
with KTM, he's reached his apex of what he can do with KTM.
Right. He should have left when Zarco left.
Dude, real talk right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Real talk right there. He should have pulled the ripcord on that parachute because that plane was going down. Zarko knew it, and Brenda was like, "No, they're taking care of me. I'm getting paid."
Yeah, because
That's
like
what
a few
they
years
think.
ago, he had a better chance of getting a factory seat or getting on a Ducati bike if he was, But KTM locked him up with that big deal, 3 year, 4 year, whatever deal they got him. So they
Yeah,
locked
they
him up for a
definitely
while.
locked him up.
I mean,
Locked him up back there in the back.
we
Yeah.
Africans still ain't learning.
But I'm earning. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about World Superbike. I mean, is I'll say this. I'm glad to see Bulaga fight back, and was able to at least pull two away from Top Rock, because when you're fighting for a championship and the guy just keeps stepping on you round after round, sometimes you might just say, second starting to look good. What are your thoughts, TJ, on the races over there? Where were they? I forget where they at. Aragon.
Aragon.
Yeah,
Aragon. I
yeah,
actually like Aragon. That's a nice track as well.
yeah.
You
Yes.
can really get on the gas. There's a nice back straight there. Um, didn't really see all the races, but definitely gonna go back and check, all the detail and see all the riders'
Well,
specialties. I
Top Rock
think.
won one.
Oh
Bulaga
yeah,
won two.
I see.
Yeah.
I see that. Top Rack, won the first race. It looks like. And it's good to see that he didn't win the second race, the third race, and sweep the field. So like he usually does. So it does see that Bulaga still got the fight in him. I mean, like you said, racing for a championship, like you still got to go all out at the end of the day until it's the last race, the last moment, whatever. So he's
Right.
gonna
And I
do
don't.
all he can to try his best. So,
Yeah,
but
I don't know how many rounds are left. But that kind of riding, do you think that gives more confidence to Bulaga? Because it's just kind of like, I mean, he only gained 3 points when it's all said and done. But does that give that kind of motivation to be like, all right, man, I can probably beat this guy at till the rest of the season. I don't know if it's enough to win, but at least it could be
I,
a thorn. TJ.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. He's only down on like 40 some points. So like say I mean Top Right rarely has a DNF, but you got to think what can be possible. I mean, some people crash and still enter the race to anticipate a red flag to try to fix their bike to hope for a red flag. So you got to just hope for the best. He's still not too far away. I don't know how many races are left, but on a race weekend they have a couple races, so anything can happen.
Yeah, I agree. Anything? What are your thoughts on what the BMW is doing over there, Reese, with Top Rock, and what Bulaga is doing? Because like I mentioned to TJ, I mean, obviously Bulaga's won before, but this one is like a good basketball game when y'all are both playing hard and anybody could win, and usually it's Top Rock getting the better side of you, but now you pull something out. So I mean, it's unfortunate for next season because Top Rock is leaving, but Bulga's confidence got to be really high after this past round.
I mean, yeah. I mean, his his confidence goes high. I mean, you do roll your confidence in going into the next round or the next race. You do roll that in. So that does have a factor into it. I mean, because when you win, I mean, you're riding that high horse. Um, I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's it's kind of sad. Is again, I always say this: it's not that you're going against BMW, you're going against Top Rat. You're not going against a bike. I mean, it's the BMW is a great bike. It's a hell of a bike. I mean, but as far as certain things, it's the actual rider because you put top caliber guys on the bike before, and where were they at? So you put Top Rack on it, he destroys. You put Top Rack on the Yamaha, he destroyed. You put him on anything else, he's going to destroy. It's just who he is. So I mean, Bulliger going against Top Rack, and at this point in time, I don't think it's enough rounds left. I mean, unless you have a DNF with
Yeah.
2 rounds,
Yeah.
so it's at 100 points plus the sprint races. No, 200 points.
Yeah.
It's 25. Yeah, so you can still win, but you're hoping for Top Rack to DNF, and if he
Right.
doesn't DNF, I mean, you're kind of up shit's creek without a paddle.
Right. Do you agree that it seems like Bulliger rode like Top Rock this weekend? Like he pretty much, had to put the bike in all the right places to get in front of Top Rock.
He did. He had to put it in the right place, the right time. I mean, like Lewis said, I mean, certain tracks are geared for that brand. It's just the way it is. This track may work well for Ducati. This track may work well for a Honda. It may work well for Yamaha versus BMW. Aragon may be great for a Ducati. It just may be the way it's designed, the way it's set up. A Ducati is going to work well on it. And then, they got the next year's bike coming finally, the V4R. So it might be work well for it.
Right. Lewis, man, let's talk about the crashes. Let's talk about Top Rock and Bulliger, because Alvaro threw away some points as well and some opportunities. We and even Inoni with slowing down the pack as well to kind of he's been kind of riding like that when he can to beat some guys because they can't find a way around him. But how did you like watching the race and seeing how Bulliger was able to give Top Rack a little bit of his own medicine?
Wait, are you trying to say that there's Ducati guys that intentionally slow down other riders to try to win races? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think that's what I heard.
It's unfortunate that it's chocolate chip cookies. You always catch me.
All right, you own a Ducati. Is that in the owner's manual? How to win on a Ducati?
Any means necessary, yeah.
I actually enjoy watching any race at Aragon. I think Aragon is one of the greatest tracks that is out there. It's a beautiful track. The layout is great. Everything. Bulliger is going to fight to the end, regardless. The only thing that I'm worried about the state of World Superbike going forward. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was an interview with Top Rack, and now that he's leaving World Superbike, I think he's a little bit more open in his interviews about certain things about World Superbike that maybe in the past he wasn't so open about. Because when you're working somewhere, you don't want to shit on the place you work on. But when you got a new job, it's like, yo, that place sucks. And during the interview, they asked him because the turnout at Aragon was weak. They had a really bad turnout. And if you think about it, when MotoGP goes to Aragon, they have an incredible turnout.
Right.
And one of the things that they asked him is, what do you see as the future World Superbike? And he said, one, we're a world championship series and we only have 12 rounds. He's like, that's unacceptable. We need to have at least 18 to 20 rounds if we're going to be considered a true world Superbike championship. And we need to go to other countries. And several times during an interview, he specifically said, I don't understand why we don't go to the United States. Why isn't the World Superbike Championship going to the United States?
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing that was kind of mentioned is, what does he see about the competition level? And pretty much he says, the competition level is very high, but I think next year there's going to be one guy that's going to win it. So it's almost like he knows when he leaves, Bulliger's going to wipe the floor with everybody because it's the Bulliger Top Rack show now. And next year there's no Top Rack. So who's going to stop Bulliger? Sam Lowe's? Only Bulliger and Gravity are the only two people that can beat Bulliger.
Yeah, I mean, look, Eco might be able to do something, but we'll see how he gets on a Ducati and how quickly he get up to speed. But I think he has a talent to give it to at least be competitive. But they're gonna be on the same bike and have the same data, and they both gonna be working out that V4. So that's gonna be the first 6 to 8 rounds anyway.
Yeah, I don't see BMW being back at the front next year without Top Rack because the bike, as good as it is as a street bike, I mean, it's the 2020s Gixxer. Everybody wants to buy it, but as a track bike, there's not a lot of people that are competitive on it. There's not a lot of people at the very pointy end of the sword on that bike. The
You
Yamaha
said
is
it,
still
not
the
me.
Yamaha. Yeah, the Yamaha is still the Yamaha. I mean, it's going to be the R1 for the 17th year. And then what do you got? You got the Bimota, the Frankenstein of bikes.
Hmm.
You got the Kawasaki that's not going to get any new parts.
Hondas look good.
Bro, it's the CBR has been the CBR. I mean, it's all right. I'll give the CBR a little bit. They changed it a little bit,
Mhm.
but they need a new plant. They need a new motor. They need a new setup. Like they need a new bike.
They got
And
good.
I don't see, yeah, Honda coming to the market with a new super bike anytime soon. At least not for the next 2, 3 years. So whereas Ducati's developing a new bike every 2 years or 3 years, or coming out with a new R model they can homologate to keep pushing that envelope forward, everybody else is sitting on their hands, man.
Right. So, before we get out of here, we're a little bit over our time as is, and I'll put this out to all you guys just based on what Lewis has said about Top Rack in his conversation in World Superbike. And we've talked about this from the beginning of the season with Motor America, and to finish Motor America with record-breaking crowds in Jersey, and it shows like what people are doing and investing to grow the sport in Motor America. Is that more on the organization side of things to kind of like let's figure out motor World Superbike and get the crowd, because that is a downside looking at, they don't really show the stadiums that much, or in any like that when you look at World Superbike, but it is discouraging to not see a lot of people at a world event like that.
If you actually notice what they do in World Superbike when they give you a ticket, they actually put you in the section where the camera's going to hit. They try to pan everybody into one section. So when you look at the actual back section, it's completely empty.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, TJ, on is it Dorna needs to like don't treat it
Yeah,
like a stepchild and invest into this thing?
yeah. I mean, they definitely need to go to US. I mean, you gotta for all this plan that we're doing with MotoGP, and they're taking over like the F1 style and like that. Like World Superbike shouldn't be neglected. They definitely need more rounds.
Yeah,
Definitely got to
Canada,
promote some. Yeah,
Brazil.
promote some way. You know, definitely like to see them to come to the U.S. Travel more. Definitely at least more rounds if they don't come to the U.S. Somehow got to be televised a little better because just watching the race is a little harder than MotoGP or even Moto America. So
Right.
it's just a little. Someone needs to fix the technology and then update some stuff. Release
No,
some updates.
I agree with you there. I know they're
Uh,
definitely doing. They've gotten a lot better in MotoGP. Last year was a little bit quirky. This year was way better. Is the best year for watching online and stuff like that. And I agree with you. I think like it's. I don't want to say it's like doing your taxes and you're looking for forms, but like if you miss the race weekend and you're trying to find the race, you kind of have to know where you're going to get there.
exactly. And I definitely kind of see them being treated like a little stepchild. But I feel like, I mean, like Lewis said, kind of worried for them next year because if Top Rock is, the main guy right now, everyone's gonna watch MotoGP now to see what he's doing over there and kind of not really follow World Superbike. So they need to find some way going into this next year to uh, give away a free weekend or something, like every weekend is for free or
Or
something,
something.
or something,
Yeah, no,
um,
I agree with you. I mean, we're fans of the sport, so we're not going to stop watching TJ.
we're going free. We're gonna find our way.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel you. Numbers guys, the guy, you brought it up, you said it. If you're saying that we should be worried because it sounds like they need a big injection of of cash and something.
I mean, they need. I don't know if it's an injection of cash. I don't know if they're circling the wagons to try to profit as much as they can from what they already have, so that they're keeping more of the money instead of reinvesting it in the right way. There's certain things, if you look at the MotoGP events and you look at the World Superbike events, for me, the broadcast quality should be the same,
I agree.
but it's not the same. In MotoGP, you get a lot more helicopter shots. You don't see that many helicopter shots in World Superbike.
You
And the
only get
reason
you
for
only
that,
get 5 gallons, man. 5 gallons of the diesel fuel.
oh, no, the reason for that is they don't have a helicopter. Like at many rounds, they don't have a helicopter, and
Uh-huh.
you're a top level sport. Get a fucking drone, man. Buy a DJI. You don't have to buy a whole helicopter, but you got to do something, man. You got to bring that quality up. And then again, I understand there's a cost involved in shipping everything to the Americas, to the Western hemisphere. But schedule it the way that MotoGP does. Do a round in South America and do a round in North America. And the round in North America, combine it with possibly some Moto America racing as well to benefit both series, to give the American class here. That's what we used to do when they used to go to Laguna Seca, the support series. They would have superbikes. They would have American superbikes racing at Laguna Seca alongside either MotoGP or World Superbike. And then some of our American riders could even wild card in the superbike race that weekend.
Right.
This is how you grow the sport. You got to grow interest from within the country. If they go to Asia or they go to some other Asian market, you know, have some of the riders there in World Superbike compete with them. Obviously, you can't do that with MotoGP because if I put hooked up R1 next to a Ducati MotoGP bike, that shit's gonna get the doors blown off of it. But in World Superbike, you can technically build a superbike. Attack has a superbike. Attack's
Right.
going to race in World Superbike on a superbike. Bring World Superbike here. Have guys from here be able to wild card in that event. It'll draw more interest. Have Motor America be part of the event. It'll draw more interest. It'll help both series grow. And you got to bring World Superbike back to this hemisphere, man. You can't, because right now, what it's starting to look like to me is the European Motor America. They race in Europe and they
Yeah.
do one or two rounds in some other places, but they're mainly a European racing. So then don't call it the World Superbike, man. At that point, it's the European Superbike. Get rid of BSB and just make it the European Superbike because you're killing the sport, man. And I, as a fan, that loves superbike. I actually love superbike racing, man. I like to know that these things, even though they're not anything like you get on the showroom floor, they're built off a showroom platform. They're built off something I could buy and obtain myself. It won't be the same, but at least I own something similar to what that guy that I'm a fan of can ride. I can never own a Ducati MotoGP bike. I can never own a Honda MotoGP bike, but I can own a CBR 1000. I can't own a Ducati V4R.
Right.
And again, these are things that are at the manufacturer level and at the Dorna racing level that they have to see that yes, if you make a great bike and that bike wins, that technically that bike sells. And that bike gives you the opportunity because it sells to reinvest in developing better bikes. And this is what Ducati's been doing, and that's why they're so dominant. And I can't take it away from them. A lot of people like to complain about the Ducati Cup. Can't complain from the dudes are building bikes, making money, taking that money, building more bikes. So as a
Got it.
numbers guy, fucking count some numbers, people.
That's right. That's right. And on that note, we will get out of here. MotoGP again is this weekend, Indonesia. Looking forward to it. I do like the back-to-back rounds because that means I get to watch racing we every 2 weekends in a row. So that's what's up. I want to thank TJ Reese from Attack Yamaha Performance, Reese, the numbers guy, for coming on. My name is Rex 45. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Hey.